Erwin Data Intelligence Suite, Getting Started with Mapping Manager. Agenda: Creating and managing mapping specifications. After defining systems and uploading metadata, you can create mapping specifications. Mapping Manager enables you to create mapping specifications in multiple ways. In this section, you will walk through how to build metadata-driven, source-to-target mapping specifications and enterprise standards to manage them. Creating and managing mapping specifications involves creating maps. Getting started with Mapping Manager. Click on the tile bar icon to access the Erwin Data Intelligence Suite modules. Go to Data Catalog. Select Mapping Manager. You can create source-to-target mappings with Mapping Manager module. Creating mappings. You can create multiple maps under a project or subject area. You can perform source-to-target mappings and create mapping specifications under a map. Under Workspace Mappings pane, right-click on a project and select New Map option to create a new map. New Mapping Wizard window appears. Enter appropriate values in the fields. Fields marked with a red asterisk are mandatory. Refer to the following table for field descriptions. Select Proceed with AutoMap or select Finish. When you click Proceed with AutoMap, you can create mapping specifications using AutoMap technique. When you click Finish, a map is created and saved in the Mappings tree. You can create a mapping specification under the map using drag and drop method or graphical design. You can create mapping specifications using a drag and drop method even when source column names are different from target column names. After mapping source to target, you can set the target update strategy and enter a description about the strategy. Click on Edit Specifications. Drag source or target table or column from Metadata Catalog and drop in mapping specification and ensure it should fall in the correct table or column. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the Update Strategy description. Under the Workspace Mappings pane, click the required map. By default, it opens the Mapping Specifications tab. You can use graphical method to create mapping specifications when columns in source and target have the same or different names. Click Graphical Designer tab. Drag source table from Metadata Catalog and drop in Graphical Designer. In Graphical Designer, click the source table and specify it as source. Drag the target table from Metadata Catalog and drop it in the Graphical Designer. In Graphical Designer, click the target table and specify it as target. If the source and target have the same column names, click AutoMap. The source and target columns are mapped. If the source and target have different names, then drag your mouse from respective source column to target column. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the Update Strategy description. To create mapping specifications using AutoMap, in the Creating New Mapping Wizard page, drag the target table from Metadata pane and drop it in Target Objects box. Drag Source Table from the Metadata pane and drop it in Source Objects box. Click here. The source columns are mapped with the target columns under a mapping group with the target table name. The mappings can be previewed in the Auto Mapping Preview grid, which gives information about the target and source tables. You can maximize or minimize the Auto Mapping Preview grid. Use this option to delete source attributes which are not mapped. Use this option to delete target attributes which are not mapped. Or use this option to add transformations for the AutoMap. A new map is created and saved under the Mappings tree. All the AutoMaps in the multiple mapping groups appear in the same sequence in the Mapping Specifications grid. Expand the Additional Mapping Information pane and click the Target Update Strategy tab to enter the Update Strategy description. You can add transformations to an auto map and specify whether it's applicable to exact match, orphan source, orphan target, or all rows. Click on Add Icon. A row is added to the grid. Double-click the cell under the key column and select the required transformation. Double-click the cell under the value column and select the value. Select the checkbox to apply the transformation for exact match, orphan source, orphan target, and all rows respectively. Click Save. Note, you can use transformations created under the Transformations node only for business rules. For other transformations, enter the required value. Switch Append to On to enable Append mode. The Append mode enables you to drop multiple columns from Metadata Catalog in one row of the mapping specification grid. Drag one or multiple source columns from Metadata Catalog in Mapping Specifications under the Source column's name. Click on Save. You can view the mapping specification in the Graphical Designer tab to view the graphical representation of the one-to-many mappings. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the Update Strategy description. For more information, please visit erwin.com.